All right, so welcome to another actual Go video. First, I have to thank everyone who sent me such nice support and comments, and even downloaded my book from the last video for my book announcement. So many of you actually had really, really amazing, wonderful things to say about it. I was kind of taken aback. I was like, makes me a little bit nervous when people are saying lots of good things. There were some of you who even took the initiative to send to, after reading the whole book in a very short amount of time, had really good ideas for it, and I'm taking them all into consideration. I'm sort of just letting myself digest, lots of different comments from lots of different directions, and we'll come back to that. Anyway, I don't want to spend this video talking about the book. I want to get on to Go, but I do want to show some appreciation, and if you haven't seen my book announcement, you just go back a video and enjoy. Anyway, in this game, we're going to talk about fighting, and you may be asking, why is there a picture of a kitten behind you, if you haven't noticed? Well, that's because we're talking about fighting, and fighting is violent, and cats are violent? Or no, you need a cat to comfort you after a bad... That's what it is. It's about the resuscitation after a fight. You might need some kittens. So, don't be fearful. We have kittens. We can fight. All right, I want to talk about this game. This was a pretty exciting fighting kind of game. I'm at the point of the game where I think it's totally awesome teaching moment from here through the next sequence of moves. But first, in this type of situation, let's talk a little bit about the board state. I think that's really just always a good idea. And let's get out the blue pen. Oops. So first thing. Let's just go around clockwise here, I guess. This bottom left-hand corner is, and maybe more than the corner, and bottom side, is turning into a black moyo, although it's not at all settled. There's lots of good invasion points here. This is very thin. Can be pushed through there. This is open on this side. Like this is not at all black territory, but oh man. If white comes under attack and lets his guard down, and black gets 2 free moves, this could easily turn into a 30 to 40 point territory. And if black gets a third move, maybe a 50 to 60 point territory. This is very good black potential. However, there are some issues. In addition to all the points I marked, there's this cut. And by the way, I am black in this game. I should note that. When I played this move, this is a beautiful move. The AI likes this move very much. It helps defend the cut. And, more importantly, it keeps pressure on White's weak group here in the center. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, there is a live white group that's pretty much in the center of all my black stones. Black has a living group here. There's a lot of Aji, like you can see these cuts. These cuts don't do anything, but again, it's good Aji. The corner is still kind of open. Currently, White still has a live group here that can be harassed a little bit, particularly after Black gets a circle mark, but for the most part, this is fine. There is this black stick group that isn't guaranteed life yet, but it is, it's got lots of opportunities, and it's facing... I should really use different colors. I like colors so much. Why don't I use more than one? There is this white group here that is solid enough to live. However, there is a weakness here that I'm aiming at to really upseat and unsettle things at some point. Of course, after this move, White can, basically live in a corner with a move like this. So, what we mostly have here at this point in the game are mostly settled groups around the edge. Like I said, there's this triangle point white marked white question group. But again, Black's not super strong, so there might be some opportunities for White to counterattack. This bottom is in danger of becoming very black, but at the current moment, it's super wide open. It can be totally invaded, so White shouldn't be too nervous. And basically, all attention, at least for my world, is coming onto this White center group. This is kind of what we're going to talk about for the next sequence of moves, is this group. And one other note, the AI, before I played this beautiful, capping move here, the AI also very much likes this peep. to play this now. And I do play this very soon. I'm not actually sure how important the timing is because it kind of works both. Like both of these are good moves. Like both of these are working. They can be worked in kind of independently of each other. So I don't know when to do that. Anyway, we'll see that. We'll see what happens when that move gets played. In this case, white is getting fearful of black's Moyo, so white plays in here. And the timing of this move is not the best, but it's okay. It's okay. Like, there's a big concern. We're going to deal with it right now. But it does give black a chance to take control of the center, right? I have this kind of not super strong stick and this not super strong stick in a weak white group. So we need to attack. So now we take this peep, and the worst move for white is to probably just connect. White plays the better move, which is here. And there's 3 main ways for black to respond that are reasonable, or you should look at. Let's number them. I'll go 1, 2, and 3. And in the end, because I'm a little bit nervous about this stick group being counterattacked, because I want to, I want to do something severe against this white group, like I want to build up some strength, I play 3, kind of seeking something of a compromise. So I play this one. This is the worst one of the 3, though. Yeah, I like the other 2 much better. Just keeping the pressure on with a move like this is much more patient, harder for white to deal with. And even this one, which feels heavy, still kind of accomplishes the same thing. But it does make the fight even bigger. Like, it's not at all compromising. All right, so I play this one. And white cuts, which is the expected sequence. I play this, and all of a sudden now my stick groups looks very nice and strong. And I'm going great. Okay, we got something going here. Maybe even after we annoy this, I'll be able to build this side into territory too. This is looking very promising for black. So white takes this turn to limit that effect. We play this Hane. These are all very natural moves. White, again, is just trying to find a little more space for this group. And then white plays this cut immediately. And this is it's not a terrible move, but it's not what white should be doing. This cut is not the best. Now, normally before white played this cut just doesn't work at all because there's just a ladder here, right? You can see the ladder. Whoops, no, that's not the ladder. That's the ladder. You can see that this stone that white played does break this ladder. So this is now a legitimate move. And black has 2 options, maybe 3. One is this to come out, but this feels a little bit, it's bad shape, first of all. And it gives white a little bit too easily of a time to attack black. It now feels like black is the one that's way behind enemy lines. You can see this black group is sort of surrounded by white now. Furthermore, these 2 stones, after white gets number 2, are also pretty toasted. So black doesn't like this position. Other choice is to, well, we can do this, but that's just as bad. Don't do that. It looks very similar. So the only move is really here. And the AI, actually, I think even before this, maybe, I don't know the timing, the exact timing, but the AI really wants to play this peep. And maybe it is after this. I think it's after this. Yeah, this looks right. Here, and then play this peep, and basically offer an exchange. I was not nearly so brave. This is a very hard exchange to make, right? Giving up this giant stick in the center to get, oops, no, let's keep the green line there. Let's change the color to get some extra strength here, and cut off these stones here and get that. I mean, it's reasonable, but it's a hard exchange to make during a game, right? Like, it's just giving up that many stones always feels bad, especially in the middle of the board where you felt like you had, or I felt like I had the advantage in the fight just not that long ago. It feels very difficult to do that. But this would have been a good sequence, certainly. So, okay. We didn't find that one. I didn't think to do this double sort of peep here with this follow-up move. And so I play this way. And this way is, again, not a game over move, but definitely not the best sequence. And we connect. Okay, so this is a very similar situation as we just had. There are a couple differences. Number one, this white group does have some weaknesses. Again, if I get other stones over here, this could be laddered again, or there's always the Satari here. So my little stick is a little bit stronger than the other sequences. At the current time, I don't really mind giving up the stone. Eventually, I do want to save this, but right now I don't mind giving it up if it means I get to get some tempo over here. So the very next move my opponent plays here, and this is a bad mistake. This is the type of thing. This is one of the reasons. This move alone is one of the reasons I want to show you this game, because essentially we have like a 4-weak group scenario, and it's about figuring out what's important. And so many Go players, myself included, just screw this up all the time. Like, what is the most important side? So let's walk through this and figure it out. All right, so here, let's first label the 4 weak groups we have to keep our eye on. There's 1. I'm going to label this as 2. I'll switch to green, or this wonderful seafoam color. This is 3, that group, and then this is 4. And so we have a 4-group fight. And you might think that this white group is strong enough to fend for itself. And so the fight that's down here is more important because these 2 groups are weaker. But the problem with that thinking is that these 2 groups are actually more important. So it's not just that this black group is the weakest and white wants to come after the weakest group. It's that this one is far more important. And so white can't waste time basically going here and attacking this group. Yeah, sure, this move is great. It makes beautiful shape for white. It threatens to, here, let's play a move. Let's say black does this. It threatens to come in here like this and just totally destroy the potential that black had before that white was worried about. Like, just potential over. And meanwhile, the black group is still behind enemy lines. But the reason why this is such a bad idea is because check out black's next move. And this is the AI recommended move. I totally played a beautiful move here. This move does 3 things. Number 1, it directly threatens the living space of the white group. Second, it surrounds. I mean, it does 4 things. Yeah, it starts to surround the white group while also sort of limiting its potential eye space. Third, it actually can reach out to this. There's now a potential for a connection here. And fourth, it can help actually turn the right side into gigantic territory. So this is a beautiful move. This is the type of move that you dream of playing, and playing at the correct time in the correct situation. Right? Just a killer move. White's next move is sort of the obvious continuation, but it's not the best. Let me show you what my opponent does. He plays here. But this next move is another one of these moves that I really want to step you through. And this one's a little bit more about reading, because I think when white attaches here, everyone's intuition is to play here. And it was mine in the game. I didn't think hard enough about it. This is just the intuitive move. If we can surround white here and get this group out to the outside, oh my gosh, it is pizza and donuts on the right-hand side. Like, just look at all those calories. So this feels great. Right? Totally feels great. And in my reading, I know that in my back pocket, I have this move. So these push cuts and Ataris, not so such a worry. I have an extra push of my own here. And certainly, it's my opponent's right to play here. And he plays here, but what he should do is just play here, make eyes, and leave the defects for later. Right? Force me to connect, and then he can go back on his way and do whatever he wants. Whatever it is. But going back to my move, this lets white off the hook too easily because I have this square move. And the move I need to play is here. And this like, again, I suspect there's some of you out there that already just felt intuitively, oh, you needed to play there. This is the move that really kills white's potential for 2 eyes. You might say, but hey, white can get out. And to that, I say, well, first of all, at what cost? Like, sure, white might be able to connect up here, but are you going to let black just kill all this? Like this is game over, right? So white doesn't have time to continue running. So let's see, as white, what do you have to do if you're going to play this? Well, then black gets to play this, and now this is threatening to cut again. So you're going to play this. Okay. Then we're going to keep the more or less running situation going. But remember, black has one other resource to sort of get out and around you first. And so this white group, oh my gosh, so much trouble now. Now it has no eye shape and not really a clear place to run to, in particular because black is so strong here in Sente. Like white just kind of has to give up this fight. Like, you can't let this happen. It looks like it's weak group versus weak group, but black gets the first move, and black is strong everywhere around. Okay, so that's not... Oops, let's erase all that. So this looks much harder to deal with. If white plays there, black still plays here. White can try to make some shape here. I'm not even sure... I might have to do a little bit of reading here. I'm not even sure if this works at all. I think black just plays there. That looks pretty good. And it looks like these cuts on the outside are just good enough to hold and make sure black has enough liberties to win this capturing race. There's only one eye on the inside, and this is a hard... there's no good move here for white to net this. Right, no matter... You play here, actually there's this kind of, you can make this exchange first and then just come down, expose another cut. I mean, just black is just off and running with liberties, and at the first opportunity will counterattack here or here. Or I mean, I should say here or here. So that's this is a black group that's a black dragon that's on the loose that I think will have, first of all, no problem finding at least one eye, and number two, probably just find enough liberties where it doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, going back here, so this was a black mistake, not playing here. This should be kind of a game over situation. But in game, I played the natural move and missed how severe it is. But I'm still banking on this square point. Now, this square point is like, oh, chef's kiss, because it's gonna pay dividends. Like, in terms of thinking about go and learning from this position, it's gonna come back. Don't worry, not over. Here we go. So we played this. White sort of crudes his way through this. And again, he can't really push through here because this, again, I have this 4 point that's free. Actually, even before that, I think I played here. Is that correct? I have to read out the liberties, but even best case scenario for white, like, are you going to allow that to happen? Like, does that feel great, white? We're back to an even more severely black potential for the bottom, and now a really huge potential for black right. Like, ugh. Okay, so white tries to cut losses, says no, let me just live. And I go, that's great. I play this move, which is good. And white connects. White's now alive. And you might even be thinking, remember this move? This move looks kind of dumb now for black, but oh man. All right. Spoiler alert. Okay. And I play here, which is totally natural and totally great move. This is saying to white, I don't care about this anymore. Who cares about that? Let's look at that. Like, what's that meme with the guy who's walking with the girl and like she's his girlfriend and he's looking behind him at the hot chick behind him, and the girlfriend's like, that's what just happened here, right? This is new hot chick. This is old girlfriend. I know my meme references are dated. I need to find some more current memes. Okay, anyway, we've got such a big right-hand side. I don't even really care what happens on the right or the bottom left as long as I'm not dead. There's not enough points on this board for white to win. Like, this is looking pretty strongly black. And so white needs to do something desperate. White needs to have an idea. And so white's going to make one more fight, one more effort here to not let this game be absurd. And so the move that white comes up with, which kind of, is a jaw-dropping, like, in the moment kind of move, like, what, you played there? Was here. First of all, that's cool. Like, that's really cool. Because, in this fight, remember how white took time to get strong there? And white took time to get 2 eyes there, so this is all strong. So my group is in danger. And it was even bigger than it was before. Remember we had the option of just giving it up as a stick? Well, now it's like 2 sticks. So this is super dangerous. And in the game, this kind of surprised me, and I kind of freaked out a little bit and didn't know what to do. And so I spent a lot of clock time reading and still didn't quite have the answer. And so I played the best move I could, which the first one is excellent. This is the absolute correct thing to do in this case. Is just to sort of play solidly, keep these white separated from the corner, and just hope that you have enough liberties to kill whatever group ends up being in here. Or at least that was my thinking. White continued the fight by pressing down here. Now this is actually not that bad of a fighting position for white, at least locally when we just look at this corner. These 2 black stones are actually hard to deal with, or hard to manage, because they can't quite connect back to this group, or can they? And they can't really make a base, right? They're kind of in this no man's land. And so again, I have a little freak out moment. Oh, no, do not delete anything. Misclick. Have a little freak out moment, and I played perhaps one of the worst obvious moves here. Thinking, okay, this thing is going to come down to a capturing race, and I just need to make sure that this stone really has a hard time linking back up to friends, and yeah, let me just play that because that'll solve all my problems. This is the wrong move. Totally the wrong move. And I'm still going to be okay, but all my hopes and dreams don't come true. Let's first take a look at what happens, and then I'll show you what would have been a better idea for black. All right, white plays this Hane, which is totally natural, and not only does it threaten to link up to the corner, it's still exposing this cut in a very severe way. And then if any of this gets strong, right, white can still hope to connect. Okay, so that's the ambition. If I play this just doesn't work. What do I do now? Here? Well, what happens when white plays here? Like, this is kind of difficult. I think next move is here. I think the order might be important. I'm not sure. What are we going to do? If we just take, like, that's an option, but white not only got to keep the corner, got to reduce my hot girlfriend territory. This would be a very peaceful kind of resolution, right, if things went down like this. Definitely would hurt, but I don't know. It's a possibility. So I'm not entirely happy with that sequence. Actually, you know what? Better sequence of black Hanes. Maybe just, playing here is better, right? Because black has no time to do this because of the slider. So black has to come back, come in again, and then something like this. In this case, black effectively solidifies a little more of the new girlfriend territory, but white gets a bigger corner. Might be a little bit better for white. It doesn't really matter. I found all those to be kind of bleh, like disappointing, because I want to kill all this. So I cut directly, right, in the hopes of just, forcing white to take that corner and killing all these stones. We play this. I play this, and I come back and play here, giving white that. None of this is better than actually anything I just showed you, by the way. White played here. I have to defend. What I'm really aiming for is I'm just looking for timing to come back here and play this move. That's what I really want. And I get it. And at this point, okay. Yeah, after this, it's hard, difficult, very difficult for white to live. Okay, I'm getting too far down the game. I want to show you. Okay, instead of giving up all this possibility here, in the end, this worked out fine for black because black got to kill all this. But in the game, instead of giving white all this opportunity, I want to go back to this move and find a better move for black. This is a better move for black, like perhaps the best move for black. And you might say, but this is a silly looking move, right? Like you're going to die here. Look at these beautiful stick stones. They're going to die now. No, they're never going to die. But we are going to play like this. And we're going to play like this. And we're going to play like this. And then we play like this. And remember that square point? This is how it comes roaring back. This square point is now asking a pretty serious question. Are we going to take back the bottom left-hand corner? And if so, what is black going, or how is white going to just live over here? Because this looks pretty pretty hard for white to kill. And meanwhile, if white can't kill something, this whole stick group, not eyes yet. So it needs to find time to have eyes. And meanwhile, everything else for black is totally 100% safe. So in this scenario, right, we don't get the full size territory, but we still get a chunk. And more importantly, perhaps, white gets like nothing. There's nothing in terms of points here for white. That means white's biggest territory on this board, might be this one. Or no, it's probably this one. Right, because this one still has a problem spot. This one probably can still be harassed. So if white's biggest territory is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, I think that's a pretty good game. So in this fight, what did white need to do? White just needed liberties. Let's erase all those. And allowing this basically gives, up a whole bunch of compromise possibilities. We don't need to compromise. We can just say, oh, you want this? Okay, that's fine. And obviously, if white connects here or takes this is real bad looking for black, or for white. If white's like, aha, I've cut your sticks. Well, that doesn't matter. This is dead. There's no way to actually cut black off in this case if you have time, or if white takes time to capture this stone. So this stick is always connected to one side or the other. And meanwhile, this corner is under severe threat. This corner has just become really hard to live in. You can imagine, here, let's give white, I don't know, move over here like this. Play a black move like this. All right, let's see you try to live. Oh man, I don't think it can be done actually. Maybe that? Oh, here, let's play the Q move first, 'cause I know you guys want to. Not looking live. Oh, this is not a living shape though. So the death by Gote, like I don't know, respond over here. Right? Not a living shape. So yeah, so black would get this, and I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't quite get all that, but fun nonetheless. So how do we recognize how to respond to this? Well, again, you have to find your resources, and we have to remember this stone can be there anytime we want. And so if that's the case, we can actually play this very powerful shape point, right, to prevent linking, and basically just drive our opponent to our hidden stone. This is very common Dawn technique, right, where you have a forcing move and you don't play it, and you pretend like it's there anyway, because you can play it when you need it. Q players don't do that very often. Like, they tend to play things out as they see them. So anyway, yeah, like black can kind of get out, or sorry, white can kind of get out here, but at what price? I think you can even play here first, right? Yeah, I think that's possible too. You play there? Okay. If you take back, then, right, toasted corner. And also not a live dragon for white. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So in the game, I was very sad to miss this move and play this one, which gave my opponent so many more options. And, my opponent could have also just played here right now to make sure this lives. but that also feels like a pretty terrible loss, but I think that would have actually been better in terms of endgame score. In the actual game, we played out a few moves here. He tried to make some eyes. I even let him connect this to pop out the eye space. And then he threatens a ko. This is kind of a fun little bit. He's just crawling through here, and he just basically doesn't see. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's just giving up at this point. He resigns here. This is the last move. After he realizes that he either has to let me connect in some way, or I have to. I'm just entitled to connect in some way with a move like this. My stones here are just too strong. Too many of them. So anyway, that was this game. This fight was pretty interesting to me. It exemplified a couple things. Number one, maybe even going back to this move. You know, when your opponent plays a stone like this, your opponent's moves in big wide open areas usually aren't only for one reason. And I knew this is the course that he was aiming here. But again, in my head, I was like, well, it's weak group versus weak group, so I can deal with it. But not quite figuring out the correct response to this peep. I was just too willing to give up shape that I didn't need to give up. Like, this peep is good, but I just have to be willing to let my strong-ish stones exist on their own and not be so worried about them. From here, the next move really is kind of hard on on white. I could even play that, I think, right? And then this is just, very ugly for white. If white plays super crude here, maybe. Like, white can live, but at what price? Okay, so that's the second lesson anyway. I have to not be quite so conservative there. And then here, this is a little bit premature. Again, I don't find the move that really makes everything okay for black. So I get forced into the sequence that's too heavy-handed. But here, this is the moment, right, where we have 2-on-2 weak groups, 4 weak groups total. Which one is the most important? And my opponent just flubs. He just picks the wrong important side. And that's go. Like that's go. I think the AI said this is like something like a 14 or 15 point loss, like just by playing here instead of over here. Right? They both are amazing moves, but it's like 15 points of difference. Because this is just suffering. And then here, realizing that again I have this phantom move, so I can actually invest in spoiling shape a little bit more. So subtle, so hard to decide when to do it versus when just to play the conventional net. But that's what it is. Let's go. And then here, this is the last little shape point that I don't take, and I don't feel like I can take it because I don't feel the strength from this stone at this point. Like, I feel like it's not useful. It's too empty triangle. It's too dumb, but it's not. It's actually great. My opponent cannot do anything. You can't ever deviate from the plan, otherwise you get swallowed. And opponent really is this catch-22 here. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little fighting demonstration and got something out of it. Again, like I said earlier, special thanks to everyone who watched my book video, and double special thanks to all those who read my book, and triple special thanks to everyone who sent me feedback about my book. Again, I was most humbled and happy with so many of you guys taking the time to see just another project of mine that I was really worked at for years. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.